Hello, this is John Wallace, and this is my YouTube video for Speaking Intermediate, and we're doing Unit 6 right here. So we're doing Unit 6, taking action on Unit 6. Taking action on Unit 6, and we're on page 112 in the book. So, we're on page 112, and it's taking action, and we're talking about the environment and how to preserve the environment, and we're on page 112 in the book. Please open it up to page 112, choices right here. Okay, so I'm going to show you a video for this right here, and an overview of the video. This two-part video makes a statement about the impact Americans have on their environment. It shows the natural and man-made beauty of the country, as well as the trash, pollution, and damage Americans have caused. The message is that we must make choices about the world we want to live in. So, what kind of world do you want to live in? A cleaner, better, more environmental world, or one that has more dirt, more trash, more pollution, and maybe a dying earth? So these are sort of points that they are bringing up right there. And please look at the two photos right here. Nature, beautiful nature in Arizona, and the photo of a suburban development right there. So in the two photos, which one would you prefer to visit? The first one or the second one? So those are the sort of things in which we are living in right there. Do you want to visit the first one or the second one? And the first photo shows a woman in a beautiful national park in Arizona, USA. The second photo shows a man-made housing development in Arizona, USA. The first photo is more positive, beautiful, and interesting. So the first photo is more positive, beautiful, and interesting. The second photo looks crowded with a lot of people and maybe noise. Okay? So the photos right there are that. What is the first photo of? And we went over that. And if you look on page 6 of the notes, print the notes, Unit 6, you can see right here the videos right there. Okay? And which photo do you think is better? Most people like photo 1 more than photo 2. This is the natural world, this is man-made, and the environment has been completely destroyed and made into housing. Right here, we have B. B right here. We match these words with that. Number 1, let's go down it, and you can read the answers right here. Right here. Number 1 is legacy. Legacy, something we leave for future people to have or own. Number 2 is images, a picture or a view. 3 is generations, people born around the same time. Number 4 is memories, what one remembers about a past event or time. Number 5, profound, very strong in feeling and or emotion. Number 6, extraordinary, extraordinary, amazing, uncommon, or unusual. Number 7 is wonder, wonder, to express interest in knowing something. Number 8 is choice, the power or ability to choose. So what are some of the images right here? One of the images, number 1. Let's go over it. Women on a rock, a pretty road, natural waterfalls. Okay? So when we watch the video, we'll see different parts of nature. So let's first watch the video that we have right here. Okay? We'll watch it and we'll see the different things that are on offer.
The past year, I have made a journey across this country. I was quite amazed by what I saw. I had never imagined it would be like this. This is the legacy we have created. This is the image of our home we present to the world. I think of future generations and their feelings encountering scenes like this. This is what many places in the country look like. These views, these scenes, these are the memories I will carry with me forever. It has been a profound experience traveling here. It has made me look at my land in new ways. My expectations have met the reality of this country, a reality hard to describe, extraordinary to experience, impossible to forget. I can only wonder, will this ever change? The choice is ours.
So the second part of the video now.
The past year, I have made a journey across this country. I was quite amazed by what I saw. I had never imagined it would be like this. This is the legacy we have created. This is the image of our home we present to the world. I think of future generations and their feelings encountering scenes like this. This is what many places in the country look like. These views, these scenes, these are the memories I will carry with me forever. It has been a profound experience traveling here. It has made me look at my land in new ways. My expectations have met the reality of this country, a reality hard to describe, extraordinary to experience, impossible to forget. I can only wonder, will this ever change? The choice is ours.
So some powerful images right there. The images in part 1, women on a rock, a pretty road, natural waterfalls, bears, the beach, the Statue of Liberty, Native American women, farms, old houses, a lake, mountains, a canoe with a woman, and a forest. Beautiful images of the United States, of my country, America. It is America the beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Images in part 2, crowded, old cars and signs, a typical road in the USA, a trash dump, zoo animals, crowded developments, traffic, trash and water with pretty birds, ugly signs, burger and fries, empty building, oil spill, graffiti on the sign. So, answers on the United States. What do you think of the United States? So, these were the images right here, and I put them. Can you please suseo yogi kogi, page 6, kogi yogi, and then the images of the United States on page 7 right here. On page 7 right here, images, feelings about the United States. Part 1 should leave one feeling positive about the USA due to all the natural beauty and beautiful man-made structures. Beautiful forest, beautiful ocean, beautiful farm. Part 2 should leave one feeling negative due to the pollution, crowded and overbuilt places, trash, and so on in the USA. So, good part of the USA and bad part. Different parts. Part 1, beautiful. Part 2, polluted with too much trash. Too much trash in the USA. So that's what we've been looking at right there. So we'll go to the next one, the next page on 114. 114, vocabulary. Vocabulary right there, okay, of the different words that we have right there. I'll say it out loud and then the video will say, the audio will say it, okay? So we have prisons, prisons. Then we have criminals, criminals, criminals. And then we have garden, garden, garden. And then we have guest, guest. And then we have increase, increase. And pretty, pretty. Prisons and purpose, behavior and criminals. Let's go.
Unit 6, Lesson B, page 114. Exercise A. Behavior.
Criminals.
Garden.
Guest.
Increase.
Pretty.
Prisons.
Purpose.
Right here, Yogi, nature behind bars. I've put the answers on page 7 right here. The answers are right there. Prisons, guest, garden. Please to say Yogi, Kogi, and I will play the audio. Please listen to the audio. Listen to the audio and read right here. Okay?
Page 114. Exercise B. Nature behind bars. Several universities around the country have projects in nearby prisons. The aim is to help the prisoners learn about nature. The projects send guest speakers, offer classes, or do some type of research. For example, some have started a garden where prisoners can grow food and take notes on different plants and give their notes to scientists. Other projects involve animals. Research shows that working with nature can increase a person's level of happiness. Further, the work gives prisoners a purpose. They do not usually have much to do in prison, and life can be pretty boring. Working on the projects teaches them about gardening and animal behavior. Very dangerous criminals cannot usually do these activities. However, nature can still help. To test her ideas, one researcher put photos of nature, such as trees and plants, in their prison cells. She wanted to see if it made them happier. The results show that even photos of nature can help people.
Okay, so that's what they're doing right there. Match each word from exercise A with its definition. So right here we have the words. Behavior is C, the way someone acts, the way someone acts. So I'll read this right here. Behavior, this is page 115, 115, right there. And the answers are right here on page 7 of the notes. C, behavior, the way someone acts. Criminals, F, people who do something wrong, such as stealing. Garden is H, a place where you grow vegetables, flowers, or other plants. Guest is E, a visitor. Increase is B, to make bigger or to make more of. A is pretty, a little less than very. Prisons is G, the places where criminals have to go. Purpose is D, a reason. And then D right here, complete the sentences, choose the correct form of the word. See page 85 and 105 for a review of suffixes and prefixes. Number 1, prisoner. A prisoner helped the researcher. So right here, right there, a prisoner helped the researcher. Number 1. With the owl. Number 2, sometimes I reuse plastic bags from the store to carry my lunch to school. I repurpose them when I can. Number 3, I love gardening. I grew my first tomatoes this summer. And 4, my friend Jane is a gardener. She grows flowers. So you might want to ask these questions with your friends. Please, for conversation with a partner. Number 1, do you think it's good to help criminals? Right here, F. To help criminals living in prisons. Why or why not? I think it's a good thing to help them rehabilitate, to make them come back into society when they leave prison, so they don't commit crimes again. Number 2, do you think prisoners should have some work or some other purpose? Absolutely, to keep them busy and give them a skill that they can work for a living when they leave prison. How can a gardener be useful in prison? To feed the inmates and give them a sense of purpose. Okay, so we've done that. Let's go now to the next page right here. And this is 116, and it's a conversation with Nali Nadikari. And I think she does projects that teach about nature and the importance of caring for it. So what types of projects do you think she does with musicians and prisoners? Shiseo Yogi. Okay. The bottom of page 4, at the bottom, I think Shiseo Yogi. I think she does projects that teach about nature and the importance of caring for it. Okay? And on the conversation while listening right here, okay, right here on page 116, you should check it. 2 things. Number 1 right here, A. Jamal and Claudie are both interested in going to a talk Friday evening, and Nali Nadikarni works to increase people's interest in nature. And right here on this, A. C, A. Nali Nadikardi studies trees. Number 2, Nadikardi did a project with a rap musician and C city kids. Nadikardi is speaking tonight about her work, C in prisons. Her research showed that seeing photos of trees decreased the numbers of fights. Prisoners helped Nadikari with her research. So let's listen to the conversation between her and read this.
Exercises B and C. A conversation about Nalini Nadkarni.
Hey Jamal, what's up? Do you have any plans for the weekend?
Not really. I'm going to study for our science test next week and maybe play some basketball. How about you?
I'm going to see that guest lecturer tonight. My professor told us about it. It sounds so interesting.
Wait, I don't think I heard about it. Who's speaking?
A biologist. Her name is Nalini Nadkarni. She studies trees and other plants that depend on trees. She also does a lot to increase people's interest in nature.
Oh, wait. Is she the one who did that project with city kids and a rap musician? She took them into the forest. Then the kids worked with a rap musician to create music about it?
Yes, that's her. She's going to talk about another project she helped start in prisons.
Yeah, I heard about that. I read that she even worked with very dangerous criminals. She looked at the effect of photos on their behavior or something? I think she discovered that just seeing photos of trees reduced the number of fights.
Yep, that's right. It's pretty amazing. Other prisoners helped with plants and animals. They took daily notes for her research. She saw that these activities helped the prisoners. They enjoyed having a purpose. Now, many prisoners help keep a garden or do other work with nature. I guess it can be pretty boring to be in prison with nothing to do. Anyway, it helped them, but it also helped her learn about the plants and animals. It seems like a win-win project.
Absolutely. That's such a great idea.
Hey, I've got to run. I've got class in a few minutes, but you should come tonight. It starts at 6:30, but I'm going to get there around 5:30 so I can get a good seat.
Yeah, I think I will. Sounds fun. I'll see you there.
So interesting how Nalini Nadkarni is able to bring up the subject of trees and forest and reduce violence in school. It's pretty interesting how she's able to do that, and just bringing forests into prisons and things like that. So you might want to look her up on YouTube right here, because bringing forests into prisons is kind of an interesting concept.
Forests are portals to places of peace, both outside and within us. I'm a forest ecologist. I study rainforest canopies, and I'm passionate about sharing my understanding of forests with others, especially with those who can't visit nature themselves. And one group are the incarcerated, those who live at an enforced distance from our natural world. In 2004, I started a project to bring nature and science education to prisons in Washington state. In partnership with conservationists, inmates learned how to raise endangered frogs and butterflies and prairie plants, really helping to save these species from extinction. This project has expanded to over 90 prisons across the United States. But I soon realized that there's a population within prisons that I couldn't include because of security reasons. Those who live in solitary confinement, the prisons within prisons. How could I bring nature's benefits here? Well, in other places that are stressful and nature deprived, such as hospitals, for example, studies have shown that when patients can view trees or view tree images, their levels of stress go down. And so I began to think that perhaps we could use this in solitary confinement cells where nature is nowhere. But when I offered this idea to prisons in Washington state, the officers perceived this activity as coddling the prisoners, and so they blocked my efforts. Well, in 2010, I gave a TED Talk about this idea, and to my amazement, 2 years later, I got a phone call from a security officer at the Snake River Correctional Institution, a maximum security prison in Oregon. He saw my talk, and he wanted help to try to implement this intervention in his institution. So I gathered a multidisciplinary research team to find out whether seeing and viewing nature imagery could result in a reduction of stress and a reduction of violence. For our pilot experiment, we used a cell block that was divided into two halves. And in the exercise room of one half, the officers installed a projector to show nature videos. And for the inmates on the other half of the cell block, no videos were shown. Inmates could choose 1 out of 38 videos that we had to watch while they exercised for 1 hour every other day. And after a year, we interviewed those inmates. We found that 90% of them felt that the nature imagery intervention caused an improvement in their moods. They felt a reduction in agitation and in irritability and an increase in calm. 80% of them said that they were able to take that sense of serenity back with them to their cells. Our staff surveys revealed that staff thought that 90% of the staff thought that this intervention did calm the inmates. But something unexpected happened, something that we weren't expecting. The officers were able to cultivate the ability to observe the inmates before they got agitated, and they offered them extra time in what they called the blue room, the room with the videos, and to therefore diffuse potentially volatile situations. So there was a shift from relying only on punishment to mindfully using peaceful conciliation in this situation. Probably the most remarkable result was that those inmates who saw the nature videos committed a 26% lower number of violent infractions. And this translates to 13 fewer violent infractions over the year, which is a substantial reduction given that nearly every event like that results in the injury of either the inmates or the staff or both. And so our results really, I think, right now are preliminary, but they are promising. Already, prisons in the states of Washington, Oregon, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Alaska have adopted this intervention. But as one of the inmates wrote on his survey, this intervention is not an overall solution to confining human beings over extended periods of time, something that we do to 2 million Americans. But I think that it sheds some light in the darkest parts of incarceration. It recognizes the power of nature on the nature of humans. And in this violent world, it provides a small but very real portal to peace. Thank you.
Okay, so that's her opinion on helping inmates. We will now go to page 117 on the next video. So 117 on the next video about that.